Hello puzzlers and modelers, welcome back to my channel. Today we're putting together the Lord of Rings Golden Hall 3D puzzle. This is another pretty small one, 400 pieces, but a lot of fun, really enjoyed it, and just a little different than the last puzzle and models that we were doing in the previous videos. So if you've done puzzles, this is no different than all the other ones, whether it's 3D or just your standard flat puzzle. You are going to separate all your pieces. So you can see here I am already breaking them down. There's going to be a pile for our base. You can kind of tell that one's a little different on the outside. It's going to be flat on one side. The other pieces are going to be kind of color coded. Just trying to get the most obvious colors separated, and then you can go through with a fine-tooth comb. So you can see here I got 3 or 4 piles. On the far right, can't see it, you can see me scooping them up. These are usually the discard pieces. So whenever they print these puzzles, they'll put little red dots on parts of the puzzle that are not supposed to be part of the assembly, but they do get mixed in there during production. It's always good to keep them just in case if you accidentally throw one in there that it's not supposed to be in there and it's actually one of the pieces for the puzzle. Alright, so now we are working on our base. Like I said, usually the easiest one to start with. You can see there's a flat side to most of these pieces here, so now we just kind of color code them, separate them out. Just like any puzzle, the smaller the group of pieces that you're putting together, the easier it will be. So this video, we did record it a little bit different, or I should say edit the video a little different. In the last couple of videos, it was a lot of quick assembly where it was just one piece after another, and it's kind of jerky, but it's also showing the puzzle assemble piece by piece. No pun. But this one we edited a little bit different, and just love any feedback. If y'all like this way better, the other way better, equally, just, you know, any thoughts be appreciated. Alright, that's most of the base. I think I had 1 or 2 pieces that were mixed in with the rest of the puzzle. We'll just get to it, you know, as we sift through the next section. The next most obvious group of pieces for me were the roof. You can see they have this cross pattern on them, and it was actually pretty difficult to line them up because the art on the piece kind of seemed to match with every piece that you assembled. It would just blend in and look just like the rest of them. But with enough trial and error, we were able to get it all together. we started working on the sides, the front, the sides, the back of the building. See over in the back corner, I actually have a handful of the pieces that are finished assembled, that are fully assembled, so those are just waiting for the end of the puzzle to be put all together. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, that's kind of the process. You don't really assemble the puzzle as one whole. It's kind of a two-part process. So we put all of the pieces together, which create these large flat parts, and then the flat parts will interlock and assemble together. Alright, so you can see the book on the side. That's kind of the instructions, I guess you could say, for the puzzle. Not necessary, but it really helps whenever you're trying to just line up these locked-in parts. Just to make sure that as you're building it upright, your pegs are going to be where they're supposed to be, and kind of tell you which ones to use. Kind of feels like cheating, but does help out a lot. See here, I actually had it assembled incorrectly. When you're doing those long strips like that, and there's not pieces around the rest of them, you can easily mix them up. There's not another piece that's going to lock into it and make sure that it is the one that's supposed to go there. So you can easily put one that's not supposed to be there, and it will fit, and it will look like it's right, but when you go to assemble the parts, it won't fit correctly. It's always really impressive how flimsy these pieces can be, and when you start locking them in, like, it gets fairly rigid. I'm surprised always that it can hold itself up like it does. Sometimes, as you saw right there, it's actually easier to disassemble some of the parts and then put them together and put a larger piece in instead of trying to get all the pegs to lock in when they're already placed on the main puzzle. Another example of putting it all together before you get it in, and it makes it a lot easier just to throw that whole piece in than putting each piece in, especially as you can see it's pretty flimsy right there. Repeating the same process on the other side of the puzzle. Locking the front and the rear side of the building. Definitely coming together. Fortunately, all these parts were put the same. So for the, I guess the dormers, whatever you call that, roof part. They all fit the same way and had the same cutout. Alright, there you have it. Really nice looking puzzle. Highly recommend if you're looking just something for an afternoon activity. Burn a couple hours. Big Lord of the Rings fan. So stay tuned. I have another video coming out here shortly. Be actually 800 pieces. And we'll keep the Lord of the Rings vibe going. Thanks again. Like and subscribe. Till next time.